Good morning, beautiful people. Today is an exciting day. This morning, we are going to be sharing on this question. Where does most of our stress come from? Where does most of our stress come from? That's the question we are going to be sharing on this morning. Because there are many a times people react the way they react, they behave the way they behave, and we don't understand. And then we start asking ourselves the question, is it only because of this small thing that this person is reacting the way they are reacting? Obviously, feelings are neither right nor wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I'm that kind of person that I don't like judging people's feelings. And it can be really hurting when someone asks you this question. Is this just because of this little thing that you are reacting the way you are reacting? So this morning I've decided to share on this question. Where does most of our stress come from? And we should remember the fact that the stress that we face most often comes from the way we respond and not the way life is. Most often the stress we face comes from the way we respond to situations, not necessarily the way life is. You know, there are some people that are overthinkers. I am an overthinker. I am such. And the stress most often that I face does not necessarily come from what life throws at me. It comes from my response to certain situation because I reason past the situation. My attitude in handling certain situation, at times I take certain things personally. At times, by the time you're releasing a word or a phrase from your mouth, I will analyze it and go past just the word that was used or the phrase that was used. So most often the stress I face or the stress people face might not necessarily come from life itself, but it comes from the way you respond to certain situations. Please, the moment I started adjusting my attitude, the moment I started learning not to take things personal, the moment I started learning to know that, or I started observing, or I got to understand that you don't see life the way it is, you see life the way you are. The moment I started, reflecting on my background, because the way we respond to certain things might be as a result of our background, maybe as a result of the way we were raised, the environment in which we find ourselves. Some of us were raised by very strict parents, that certain things, when we see them common in the society today, you can't fathom it, you can't really understand. At times you start asking yourself questions. Are these things real? Can a human being behave like this? You start asking some questions. How come? It's based on your own perspective. You feel the way you respond or you react the way you react based on your background, based on the way you were raised, based on your environment. And you fail to understand that the other person that behaves the way they are behaving, they are coming from completely a different background, a different culture. They were raised by different parents. And so they see life differently from the way you see it. So the moment you start having an open mindset, the moment you start becoming open-minded, not to be too judgmental, by the time somebody uses a word, instead of me, responding in a way or thinking that life is that way, I need to start looking at maybe where is this person coming from? What is their culture like? What is the background? Maybe this person, grew up single-handedly, maybe an orphan that faced life in a challenging way. They had just only been seeing difficulties. People had been using them such that they now started building walls around themselves, being defensive. Any person that they see coming or approaching them, they start getting defensive. They start building walls. They start seeing arrows where there are no arrows. If you start understanding that, you will see that life, the stress we have is not necessarily because of the way life is because of our response to certain things. And the moment we start having completely a different understanding about life and living an open-minded life, we will respond more positively to certain things than we would have done if we never understood such. Change the way you see things. Look for the good in all situations. In everything that I face, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn from? Look for the good in every situation. Don't be that kind of person that in every opportunity you're always seeing challenges. Rather, in challenges, look for the opportunity that is hidden behind that challenge. Take the lesson and find new opportunities to grow. For every challenge, for every difficulty you face, pick the lesson out of it. Use that lesson and create an opportunity to grow from it. Let all the extra stress, the worrying, and the overthinking go. This is a moment, it's a time for you to relax. I always tell people this life is too short and it is very simple. Live it the best way you can in everything, in every way, do everything to be happy. I hope I made some sense. Good morning.